Okay, so I've had an individual ask me if I could kind of do a review of the two Big Country Times sports books that are available. Both of these are the small 6x9 coil bound books. They both feature high quality paper. This particular book is the older 2.5 edition. This is the book that I was just using this morning to play the 1986 NFL tournament. It features the boxers on the cover. Big Country Times Sports version 2.5. 8 games are in this book. It's 203 pages. High quality coated paper. So one of the reasons this is a little more expensive is it's color coated paper, as opposed to the newest version, which is a little slightly different quality paper. But what's the big difference? Well, of course, this features table of contents, Big Country, the advanced versions of basketball, baseball, boxing, football, hockey, racing, soccer, and rally. And there is a Big Country off-season player paradigm, which was only available in this book. It's never been available anywhere else, that I put in the back of this book so you could use a paradigm for off-season to see if players retire, age, etc., for any of the sports, but really it was designed for rosters and football time. So that's also in this book. So this is the older version. Let's take a look at the newer version. This is the very latest, 4th edition. It's so this one is 203 pages. The new book is 166 pages, a different font. Again, the paper and qualities are slightly different, so one's a little more expensive than the other. They're both 6x9 coil for easy plays. You can flip them over, open them flat. Very high quality paper, so they should last a long time. Again, it has the Big Country universe. It has the advanced basketball, baseball, boxing, football, hockey, racing, soccer, and rally. It has been slightly revised in the writing, so you'll find that this has still a couple of old typos in the history, or I should say in the fictional setup, right? Again, most of the difference between the two is some rule changes, but really I also went through, by the time I got to the 4th edition, and had tightened up some things, removed some things, fixed some things, and the rules changed in some of the games, I won't say quite a bit, but enough to make them different versions. Also, the book layouts were improved. For instance, this goes directly from the history, and then it has a blank page, and then it announces that you're now looking at Big Country basketball time. We go into basketball time. This game, on the other hand, skips a page and goes without a title page, skips a page and goes right into Big Country basketball time. Again, rewritten slightly. Right, in some places. There would be sometimes different leagues or different teams in these books. I can't recall exactly which. But here's the older game. Again, the older game features the advanced version. So you roll up your teams, you got your off-season, you've got what a team makeup looks like with a salary, power rating, your off-season chart, and of course, it walks you through the how to play the game with your who's got the ball, who's scoring points, and who the defensive matchup is. So that has not changed. This version is the advanced basketball game. Again, slightly reorganized in charts. This one uses color paper because it has the gradient. So I've got color paper. There might even be pictures in this version. I can't remember if I have pictures in this. Art in this, but I don't think so. And then, of course, I fixed a typo. So in the basketball, it said away team makes a segment check. It rolls a matchup, and then it rolls a player scouting report. Well, this is a typo. It's not roll, it's check. You should be checking the matchup, then rolling the scoring chart. So you'll see I caught that typo. It's rolls, checks, rolls, rolls, checks, rolls. Over here, I said rolls, which is wrong. You don't make that roll. So that was a typo fix, right? You can still play it and you'll make sense of it. There's no way to make a die roll on that chart, but I corrected a typo there. So that's the older game. These charts did not change. The game charts in most of the games, they only change between different games. Like the time, like basketball time is different than Big Country basketball time, right? Big Country Basketball Time is an advanced version where you actually roll to see which player is scoring buckets. In Basketball Time, you're just rolling a score per quarter or whatever, right? So there are different details of the games. But you'll see the charts. I think maybe the scoring changed here. Let's take a look. I think I probably changed some scoring. Plus 6 to 10, 2 to 7. I think it might be the same. So this is 6 to 10. This is 5 to 10. This is 1 to 7. So the scoring in the latest 4th edition book is going to be a little more sober, a little lower scoring. Again, not necessarily meant to emulate NBA basketball, but again, if you add the possessions that I suggest, you can get closer to the NBA scores if you add that extra possession per quarter. It's designed to be 3 possessions per quarter, not 4, but you can do that. So that's changed. So there's an example where the actual score charts change between versions. The style has not changed. These the style effects on play. These are strategy and style adjustments you make to teams. You'll find in the original basketball version, every team has its own page, but you'll notice there is no style adherence. In the latest version, it tells you what this team plays. So Central City plays a normal style strategy. Here, it's because the styles are optional in both versions. They're an advanced optional feature. So because they were advanced and optional, I did not put them on the team page because I didn't want to make people feel like they had to use them. But I decided it only made sense that if they're in the game, even as an advanced option, that every team should at least have their style built in. These are the fictional leagues that come with the book, as opposed to you're making your own. Of course, you can make your own teams. That's the whole goal. Make your own leagues, your own teams, and of course, you'd pick your own styles for every team. So that's a difference in the books. So the newer book is just newer. It will have seen me not only go through and make some subtle tweaks to the rules, but also to improve the book layouts, to improve some of the, let's see here. So that's basketball. Baseball. Baseball probably changed the very least, if I remember right. Let's get on down here to baseball. So again, we have a blank page, baseball, right? Here, we announce it, Big Country Baseball. So there's a page that tells you we're now in Big Country Baseball. In the newer game, it's just very simple, a blank page, and we introduce right into it, right? Again, not much has changed. I don't believe this has changed at all, just what it looks like. I don't think I've changed anything in this game, maybe found some typos. So here's how you create your starters and your bench, your bullpen, your starters, your bench, your bullpen. Let's see. There's what a team looks like. I don't believe I have changed any of that. There might be typos that have been corrected. But see, there's Porter Bay. It looks almost identical. And here, Porter Bay with their write-up on one page. Here, the write-up breaks across 2 pages, unfortunately. Right? And then we have our sample of how you play the game and the matchup chart. Here, we have the matchup chart. The matchup chart may have changed. I don't think it did, though. Nope, it has not changed. And then, of course, we get into the teams. What the teams look like in the new book and what they look like here in the 2.5 book. We've got the name of the owner, the size of the field, their manager, and their starting. These are your innings, inning 1, inning 2, inning 3, inning 4, inning 5. And then if you go into extra innings, you roll your bench and you roll your bullpen. And that's the salary of the team. I think that has not changed. Yep, looks identical. It's just been, the alignment's changed a little bit. Baseball and hockey both, I made no changes to. I thought they were, obviously there were changes made as I play tested it. But once they went in this book along with Rally, Rally, baseball, hockey, they did not change. I was so happy with their finished product that I've never felt I needed to make any changes to those games, except there might be a typo somewhere that I fixed. All right, so we're looking at the old 2.5 version of Boxing Time. Now, this is important. Boxing Time's changed, football time's changed, and racing time's changed in each book, as well as basketball time has changed, but not enough that you would warrant buying a new book. But if you were deciding between this old version and the new version, first, I think aesthetically, the new book, it just looks much better. It's just something about it. It's very, very nice. I purposely balanced the teams on the sheet so they're not top heavy. I just made a concerted effort to make these, for me, a much more aesthetically pleasing book, right? But that doesn't mean the games are necessarily, worth replacing. Are the books worth replacing? Okay, but boxing, on the other hand, is a pretty big deal. So boxing, that's the off-season funnel for baseball. Okay, so boxing, a couple of big things changed here. So boxer creation changed a little bit, as now your boxer doesn't start so low. So in the original game, it was much harder. Your boxer started with a potential to roll Fs for his starting grades. Well, the Fs have been removed because you only get 1 or 2 rolls here. And so having an F on a first roll kind of sucks. The whole point of your first roll is to have something better than an F. The original game was much harder. You could roll an F on your original roll. So your boxer creation is improved. I would say improved. It's changed. I really like the difficulty of this version, but as I played, I think I played 4 careers, a lightweight career, 2 middleweight careers, and a heavyweight career. And then I realized, it's kind of sucks that when you roll up your boxer, you would have Fs when you're already going to have them if you don't get a grade anyway. So I realized, they really should, if you make that 1 roll, you should have at least a C, right? So that changed. Also, I think I corrected a typo in the weight classes. Nope, didn't correct. There was no typo there. And then, of course, what changed is your amateur career chart changed between the two. So now you'll notice on the amateur career chart, there's no allusion to credits or money. So the newest version of Boxing Time, I've removed money. I've simplified the career mode where you don't have to wrestle with money. In the mode that I'm playing currently on the channel with my latest boxer, Oliver Carver, I use this set of rules. Therefore, he started his career with 4 credits, and he has earned credits for winning, right? And this chart has never changed. And the game flow, the rules have never changed. Game flow, none of this has ever changed. What did change, then typos, there have been things added and removed. The boxer bag, none of these charts have changed. They are rock solid. I don't feel they need any tweaking or adjusting. So those have not changed in any iteration. The KO charts, and then of course your sequence of play charts not changed. What has changed is the layout again. So here's all the boxers, the fictional boxers, lightweights, middles, and heavies that come in the book. You can make your own, of course. The layout's changed. Again, I think it's more aesthetically pleasing. I think it's easier to read. It's got gradient color, grays, blacks, whites, grays. So therefore, it justifies color paper. And then, of course, I broke the boxers, and instead of a streaming list of all the boxers crammed on one page, I broke them into the top 10 lightweights, top 10 middleweights, top 10 heavyweights. And then I give you a description of how the careers changed. Here, there's no allusion. There is the same description here, but there is no allusion to money, etc., right? Weight class changes and scoring. And so this is the older version. We actually have judges 1, 2, and 3. If you want to use a 3-judge panel, the game is default to 1 judge. But you can do 2 judges or 3 judges, and this is that panel. Well, in the latest 4th edition, I ultimately remove the allusion to other judges. You just judge the fight with 1 judge, and then you can either score the fight in a 10-point must, by rounds, or by actual points. So you have 3 ways of scoring the fight, but instead of having 3 judges, you have 3 different ways of doing it with 1 judge. Here you can have up to 3 judges if you want to. So the rules changed, but the biggest change is the career mode. As you can see now, there's an optional economy, training, and career features, which are in the old version of boxing, with a pre-bout training chart and the hometown chart to fight your boxers in the hometown. And that ends the old version, 2.5 boxing. The new version of Boxing Time is just a simpler, more efficient, and a much simpler career mode. As this book might even take out any allusion to a career. 4th edition version Basic career options. So the simplifying the career into one paragraph and how your boxer changes. That's it, right? As opposed to this, where you can manage your boxer, spend money. You have to have money, you make money. You can spend money for temporary changes. You can spend money for permanent changes. And so, and then you can roll where you're fighting your fights in which it could benefit you to make more money if you're fighting in your hometown. This dumps all of that kind of extraneous, not extraneous, but all of that more detail in the. So this is a less detailed, more focused, efficient, simple version of my favorite. I would say my boxing game and racing game are probably my two favorites. Of course, I play football more than anything because I'm a football nut. All right, so the older version has a more deep career mode. All right. Okay, then we go right into, again, note, we don't even skip a page. We go smack right into football time. Here again, we use a blank page to break it up, and we go into football time. What's interesting here is I had been using, so here we do have a title page. I take that back. We don't go right into football. We have a title page, and then we go into football time. Football time will have changed quite a bit in every iteration. The career mode has not changed much. I had a typo in one of them that I had to fix. I don't think it's in this anymore. Nope. Okay, so the old version, you're going to find the financial is different, as F owners start with no money at all. And in the new game, again, not much of this has changed at all, except you'll find that even the F owners, also, I do a better job describing what the owner grade is and what you need it for. Management grade, what it is, what you need it for. Head coach grade, what it is. Here, I just kind of assume you understand you're rolling for the owner, right? For your owner. Also, I think in the older version, there's our coaches. We still have our stadiums, which have a faux attendance figure, and then a sample team. This version, we still have all of that. But I also give us a look at what you would want to track for your teams. Your main quarterback, your main running back, your main receiver, your main defensive lineman, your main linebacker, your captains, basically, and your DB, who's also happens to be the return man here. And then we have our place kicker. And so this just gives an example of what the Bayside Whalers would be a full team sheet, right? If just examples. You can do this stuff any way you want, but this is kind of how here it's just the data, right? Okay, then we go into the football time procedure. That has not changed. The matchup charts generally haven't changed. There might be a tweak to the matchup charts in this. I think I did change the matchup charts a little bit. Okay, what changed between the two is this was made simpler. In the old version, it was very easy. If you rolled a 1, you knew there was a turnover. If you rolled a 6, you knew there was a touchdown. So it's really fast because you're not hunting and pecking. Well, what happened to C on 3? Oh, it's a punt for most teams, right? Well, here I went back to the original version, which was my favorite pattern. Again, the pattern requires that you look. Also, what's changed is here it's just a turnover. Then you roll to see what kind of turnover. If it's a touchdown, you roll to see what kind of touchdown. In this, you can have events. You get a 7 points or 3 points, 6 points, etc. It tells you what those are. If you have an event, you get to roll an event chart, which really drastically can change the game. It does quite a bit. It changes positions on the field. It also changes whether you can score on defense. In this, you score a touchdown. It says run or pass, but you could conceivably call it a interception for a touchdown if you want to. But it does not allude to defensive scoring in the original. So in 2.5, it's just less detailed. Football's less detailed than 2.5. It's more detailed. So ironically, boxing gets more efficient and focused and less detailed in the career mode. The football game gets actually, it's efficient play, but it gets more detailed with event charts and a touchdown chart. So when you score a touchdown, you get to roll to see who and how you scored. This book introduced that. Oh, by the way, this book also has, so the old book also has score by quarter. If you don't want to play every possession, you can roll for quarters and see how much your team scores in a quarter. And then it has the touchdown chart. So this does have a touchdown chart. This book went solely with the possession chart. There is no instant results in this newer book. There is the event chart and there is the touchdown chart, but there is no instant result chart in this book. There is no quarterback chart in this book. So the older version has a couple of different ways to play the game with touchdown details, right? The newer version has really one way to play with more details in that one way to play. So those are how the games changed. The rules and things just don't. The off-season charts didn't change much. However, there is a difference between these off-season rules and these, but not enough to probably warrant discussing here. How the finances work, what happens. You have a luxury tax optional. And then the Big Country Football League is very detailed in this. We get all 10 Big Country teams rated with a write-up of those teams and the schedule for the first season. This comes with the same exact information and the schedule. So you're not losing the big league and you're not losing the 14-game schedule. So I would argue it depends on what do you want a score by quarter in here? Do you want the more advanced boxing career mode? Then the older 2.5 book would be better for you. Okay, what else? Let's get on down here to the next game. The next game is, well, geez, a lot of football information in both books. Let's get down to the next game. The next game, by the way, the older book puts the two most important charts on one sheet. So you can flip to that on a coil bound, fold it open. You can do your matchups, play your games like I did this morning very quickly. And then I even put all the Big Country teams together in a quick reference chart for gameplay on 2 pages. And then we go into hockey time. This game, of course, has all the football teams in the write-up and their schedule. And then we go again, blank page, bam, right into hockey time. Hockey time, I don't believe changed at all. This is the advanced. By the way, if they say Big Country Football time, they're generally the more advanced versions. So baseball, basketball, hockey are all more advanced versions of the games. They feature complete rosters with more stuff going on versus the hockey time game, which is usually a faster, simpler game. Okay. Again, pretty much the most important part of the new book is the layout. It's more aesthetically pleasing. I try to balance out all the data and information. We've got the same sequence of play for both games, right? How to play the games, game example, how to score it, and then, of course, your player creation, your off-season changes, and, of course, your gameplay charts, and then your teams, all the teams that come. So hockey time, I don't believe, has changed at all. Again, baseball, hockey, rally did not change much. And then we go into racing time. Again, so the hockey game, it might just be some typos, the way it's presented. There might be a few rule changes somewhere, but I don't think so. Oh, wait, the injuries might have changed. Yeah, I think on the main charts, the injuries changed. So injuries were more common in the original 2.5 edition. Oh, no, they're not. Okay, let me take that back. No, they are. They are the old. Okay, good. So the injuries had been changed in both versions. So the old version has this more kind of classic type font, larger font. These are all 12-point font. That's another reason it's 203 pages versus 166. This is still, I think this is 8-point font, and it's a more, I like this font better, personally. This has more of a classic font. Okay, so then we go into racing time. Again, we have an entire page that sets off the chapter. And then here we just take a blank page and we go into racing time. Big changes between these two games, I think. Let's see here. This version may have the mandatory push. Yep. So the big rule changes was that I changed the game where you could choose to push or not push as a team. So that's in both versions. Let's see here. Game flow procedures. I think also there was big changes to the potential death charts because death was the thing. Yeah, so let's see here. We got, okay, so in the old version, the game was more dangerous. Let's see here. The old version, we had drivers A and B on the event charts. Now we have drivers A and B. Okay, that didn't change. We have C and D and F. And on this we have C, D, and F, so those haven't changed much. But I believe they're more dangerous. So in this version, you could have a driver killed on the C. A C driver could die, and a D and F driver could die. In the new version, only a D or F driver can die. So if you'll notice, it's A, B, C, D, and F. A, B, C, D, and F. Now only one chance that drivers can die, and the only drivers that can be killed are your really bad drivers. Here, an average driver can be killed. DNFs can be killed at twice the rate, and you can see how many times they can lose their career. So they may not be killed, but their career could be ended. Right? They're crippled, or they lose their heart, or whatever. So this became a little more probably obviously realistic, but also just less deadly. The original racing game was very dangerous, very deadly. And what else? Oh, there were optional financial rules. So in the original game, a more detailed career mode with financial rules. In the updated version, we, like boxing, we simplify all of that. I wanted the game. So in this version, I wanted the games to have deeper career modes so you can really get into the off-season stuff. The problem, what I found was, wait a minute, I didn't want the game to be just about the off season. I wanted it to be about playing the games. And so what ended up happening with boxing and racing is I wanted people to spend more time racing and less time wrestling with teams. So less off season administrative stuff. So I simplified how that works. So for instance, in this version, you've got optional contracts and money, how much money you earn in races, how much money you earn for finishes, how much it costs you to keep players, and also how much money teams started their season with. So BRM starts with 3 credits. So you have a money system in the old 2.5 version of the game. In the new version of the game, you don't have to worry about that. At the end of every season, you roll whatever your driver is, you roll to see if he renews his contract. So if I have a C driver, I would just literally roll the dice and see. Let's say I have a C driver and I roll 1d6. If I already have a driver I want to keep, I don't say if C driver has nothing to do with it, but let's say I have a driver I want to keep, I would roll to see if he autos up or if he extends, right? So you just have a very simple way of, and you have to do this with your pits and your cars. Cars change automatically every season. Pit crews have to be retained, so do drivers. And you could get them automatically, or you get them for a certain amount of time, right? Okay, you can, between seasons, always create brand new drivers, pits, and cars. Or you can try to retain what you already have, which would be important if you won the championship. You might want to keep your guys around, right? Okay, and then multi-car teams. I had a rule for how it hurt you to have multi-car teams on the track as the pit crew grade is reduced. And then the teams now, of course, don't have a money note next to their names like they do here. So the older version, a little more financial heavy if you want to spend all that time tracking every driver and their contracts. Here, I think it's just easier, not to mention this has contracts that affect both drivers, pit crews as well, right? Not just drivers. So it's a simpler, more effective way to do the off season, but it still creates a career mode that works great without worrying about money. And then this version, doesn't show you how to create. This version does not show you how to create tracks. Those are the raceway tracks, right? There's no illusion to making your own tracks. Here, I actually put in a simple way to create tracks. So if you want to make more tracks on the fly or create more raceways, you can just roll this to find out what they're like. And then, of course, all the tracks are here, and a sample of all of the raceways are written up here, just like this book. And the Soccer Time has not changed. Soccer Time is exactly the same. That's the other game that I felt didn't need to be changed. So Soccer Time's never changed. However, there were some typos corrected, I think, in the from the old version. And again, you can see just the quality of how it's laid out in the book and the quality of the text. I just prefer this look better, but that's just a matter of opinion. None of the rules have changed in soccer. It has been for my money, it has just never required a tweak. It's one of the most sound versions of a game after I've completed playtesting that I've ever made. I didn't feel the need to change this at all. It comes with the league, and then it gives you a sample of what a team might look like and how you would know who got a goal, who might got a set piece, who gets a red card or something. And then there's an off-season module in this. I don't believe there's still an off-season module in soccer. I think I may have removed it to simplify it as well. Oh, no, there it is. Off-season module still here. Did I change how you do it? Oh, this has credit. So this game, that's right. So it did change, as this game has an off-season module, but there's no money involved. Again, zero money involved. So the latest editions just simplified the off-season work. So when you can keep playing, you can go through the off-season quickly and get started and continue playing as much of the games as you want. The older versions kind of assumed you would make a soccer team and manage a soccer team, so therefore you'd want to worry about money. You know, how much money do you have? Where can you spend it? So this has a financial piece that the latest, newest book does not. Right, so that's where they changed. Let's see here. And then rally racing has never changed. I finished this, play tested it, shared it, and it's never felt a need to change the rules. The rules have been fantastic from day one. Plays wonderfully. I love it. And I was just going this morning. I was just going to make a new team with Dell and I in a racing team and start a new rally career with Dell and I. I did one with my brother. I didn't share much of that. I shared one rally on the channel with my brother and I in a team, but I finished that without sharing any more on it. And I thought, it'd be fun to start another career with Dell and I. Anyway, and so this hasn't changed at all. And that's it. So there's 166 pages. Oh, and page numbers. I learned how to I had made, I don't know how many books before I realized that I wasn't putting page numbers in the books. And so the older book does not have page numbers. Oh, and the old book as well. So now I had also figured out, I might want to put page numbers in the book. So, people can reference that. Or they could ask me if they had a question, hey, on page number 163 of your book, blah. And it would have been a lot easier for people to communicate with me. So that's the new one. The new one is 166 pages. The biggest changes were to the basketball scoring algorithm. And of course, football saw a removal of a way to play, but added more details. Boxing saw a simplification of the career mode. Racing saw simplification of the financial mode, and soccer saw simplification of the financial mode. That's the newest version. That would be the 4th edition. The older edition has a more advanced boxing module with financial rules. The racing game has financial rules, and the soccer game has financial rules. Also, in the older book that is no longer available anywhere is my Big Country Off-Season Player Paradigm. You put a player through a career role, and they can either improve or stabilize or decline, right? And you would roll once you find out years in league. So let's say I have a player that's in his 2nd year and he had improved in the off-season. There's no chance he'll retire. But let's say I had a player who was that had a decline, and he was in his 6th year. He would retire on a roll of 5 or 6 on a D6. So this is a way of kind of seeing if players improve, but also that affects whether they would be willing to retire or not. And then I had a very simple draft device. When you want to replace a player that has retired, you just roll this to find out what they were. Well, they ended up being a starter or contributor. Has no effect on play. It's just a way to understand that they got that quality of a replacement. And if you happen to roll a 6, you get a game changer who would be given a plus or a star depending on the game. So hockey, you would have drafted a starter contributor, or let's say you roll a hockey player, you roll a 6, he would get a plus. Whoever that guy is would get an automatic plus added to his grade, right? So that's that. And there, of course, is the last page of the book. So hopefully this helps. For those who are debating on which version to buy, that would be by the way, the only 2 Big Country Times Sports books available now at all are the 2 small 6x9 coil bounds, the latest 4th edition book and this older 2.5 edition book. The big format book gone, The paperback's gone. They were just too hard to handle. The big book's beautiful. It handles great, looks great, reads great, but it's just not practical to carry around with a notebook and dice. So I think the smaller coil-bound books, although it's a larger page count, they're just more practical on the table play. They fit on your table beautifully. They fit in a backpack beautifully. They're easy to grab up with a notebook and take off. So I just consciously removed those buying options to simplify and to make them the most possible practical game book. Not just a book, but a game book. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.